Anybody there yet? That Marco's there. Yeah, I was correct. Marco and Critter. What's up, guys? A little late to be turning the camera on. Already been here about 3 hours. Got a bunch of heat treating done and doing some grinding. Had company here, so I didn't go live, but now they're gone, so I figured I'd just turn the camera on. Let y'all join me while I finish some stuff up. I got one. Let's see what I did with it. I got Empty's Heathen Ground. Turned out real nice. They're getting scales on that one before long. Whew. The only part that sucks about being here so long is them leather gloves get wet and soggy. As the gloves get soggy, it makes my fingers all wrinkly. And that's pretty miserable. But it is what it is. I'm already wore out. But I am going to finish heat treat today. So I probably got over an hour or so. It'll take me to get the rest of them done. I got 3 in there now. And they like about 5 minutes before we take them out. So we'll grind for a minute while we're waiting on them. This is Mad Yoko's design. Oh, I guess I need my glasses. Check the old eyeballs. That's the only good thing about my leather gloves getting wet. That makes it even safer handling that steel out of the oven. We're making knives. Grinding a blade now. And we got some blades in the heat treat oven we're about to take out. We have to do some quench. Maybe I don't know if you were in here. I know I sent you a picture, but that beautiful grind. Got her nice and thin behind the edge. That ought to be a slicing machine, sir. That's the only one I have finished today. So anyway, so we already got some trolls in here. That's all right. Trolls are people too. They tend to be people without enough backbone to say anything to people in public, so they like to be civil on the internet. All right, here we go, guys. We're fitting to take some damn cherry red steel out of the oven. I wish I didn't have to block the camera when I do this, so y'all could see it a little better. Let me try swapping sides, see if that helps any. Here we go. Into the quench plates. And clamp. So these aluminum plates are rapidly sucking the heat out of that blade. I'm just blowing air in between them to help them cool down faster. Yeah, Indy, I was really happy with this thing, man. I really wish I could sell more of these. This is by far my favorite model. That's a wicked ass looking knife. And in crew wear, this thing should be badass. And I've got some forest green G10 for the handles. I'm going to use orange liners and orange pins because you said you wanted green and orange. So that's what you wanted. That's what you're going to get. Let that sit for just a little longer. I had to move my cryo bucket, guys, so I don't have it over here. It's on the other side of the shop. So next, I'll take this out, go throw it in cryo, leave it there for a couple hours. She's cooled down. The austenization, however you say the process, is over. Now I'll go get it in cryo. You guys won't be around for this, but later tonight, after those have been in cryo for a while, they'll go, they gotta go back in the oven at 300 degrees for 2 hours twice to do the temper cycle, which takes all the stress out of the steel, makes it tougher. I think it is too, Empty. You know, it's not as hard to use a knife as the goon you've got coming. Goons just ground a little thicker. But, you know, I don't really set out to make I want my knives tough, don't get me wrong, but I don't set out to make them as tough as possible because I grind them so thin at the edge. I want them to cut. I want it to be the best cutting knife you own. So that's my goal. That's what I strive for. But there's 2 other knives in the oven, so I don't really have time to turn the grinder back on because as soon as they reach 1850, I can take another one out and quench it. So I'll get the quench plates ready because it's already at 1841. Let me reset my quench vise. Everything has to go quick and smooth when you're coming out of the oven into the quench. The more time you fumble around between here and here, the more negatively you're affecting your heat treat. We don't want that. Now you want to talk about the toughest knife I made? It's by far this monstrosity. This is the SNT. This is in 3V, so the steel itself super tough. This isn't heat treated yet. I just did a primary grind to save myself a bunch of headache. But I do not run these super thin behind the edge, and I do not run these at super high HRCs. I run them a little higher than standard, but not super high because the whole point of this is, you could cut open a Chevrolet truck door with that. Hey Kathleen, how are you? I ain't gonna lie, guys, I'm wore out already, man. I'm exhausted. I've got these 2 knives left to do, which they're close, but I've got 2 more to heat treat, and I will be done for heat treat. And I probably won't have to turn this oven on for another month. So I'll be tickled to death to be done with it. It's not that it's hard. It's one of my favorite parts of knife making, but it's just so time consuming. That's a what? That is a monster. That is a monster knife. There's only one other like it in existence. It belongs to Scotch and Things. And when I made his, Sawtooth Dave liked it, so I'm making Sawtooth Dave one. This is Sawtooth Dave's. I take that back. After those 2, I've got 1 more day of heat treating to do this one and a kitchen knife, but I'll do them separately. Almost there. We're ready to quench another. These plates are still a little warm, so I stick my gloves in them to try to dry some of that water out of my leather gloves. And it helps the plates cool off more. People used to think you needed, and I used to do it. I used to dip my plates to try to get them back to a room temperature. But what people don't understand is the quench process happens at a much higher temperature than that. So even if these plates were at 350 degrees, they would still quench and quench properly. It's not necessary to cool the plates back off completely. I can't do them fast enough to heat the plates up beyond the temperature they need to be. Let's grab another. lot of testing has been done on the process of blowing air between the plates, and it all came back with the same result. It's not necessary. There's no benefit to it. There's no benefit, or there's no adverse effect to doing it. It's just not necessary. But I do it because I'd rather be doing something than standing here waiting. Just out of habit at this point. What's up, War Room? Cheeto? Scooter? Oh, I'm so tired. I ain't got long. Get this cut out. Go throw it in the trash there. I love those blue heat shrink marks. Kathleen, in case you're wondering, I actually moved my crow away from that 1900 degree oven because you got me a little nervous the other night. You got me to thinking about it, that flammable substance being that close. So I moved it across the room inside a sealed container. So that's all I need to burn the shop down trying to make some knives. We're at 1834 degrees. So when it hits 1850 again, we'll be ready to quench the next one. And like I said, 2 more, I'll be done with heat treat for a while. And I'll show you all on this next one. Kind of amazing to me, but I said when I take those blades out to quench them, they're at 1850 degrees. They're in that quench for about 2 minutes. And when I cut them out of that packet, my gloves are wet from grinding. I can rub the blade with my glove and the water will slowly evaporate off the steel. So that tells you it's below 200 degrees that fast. Yeah, those quench plates just suck the heat right out. You used to do meth? No, I didn't used to do meth. But you can type whatever you want to in here, buddy. We don't judge. I am perplexed by, I'm a bit of a troll with people I know. You know, I like to pick at people and crack jokes, but just, I've never quite understood the people that just go into a random live stream and say something dumb just because they can. I don't know. But we've had a lot of those people come around, introduce themselves by saying stupid shit to try to get a response, and then end up being pretty normal people. Some of them have hung around, you know, and join us every time we go live. So it's all good. Something dumb. There's something dumb right there. What's up? KDX Garage. I am really trying to talk myself out of going home and doing those other 2 later. Man, I'm exhausted. I know I just started, but I've been here for hours. Wasn't going to go live because I had company. But he left and I didn't want to be bored. So what's up, Ron? Ron, I just heat treated your prick. It's in cryo right now. So I will be getting that finished up this week. Get it out to you. Let's see where we're at. Looks like we're about 1846. 1848. That's close enough. I'll take it out of that. Get these last two in here. Let them be heating up. That'll do, pig. Off the cryo. Oh, I was going to show you. Watch when I wet it. I don't know if y'all can see that. It is evaporating, but not super fast. All right, so we gotta wait till it reaches 1850 again before we start the timer. So I'll grind for about 5 minutes while it's getting back to Austin a top temperature. Still got a ways to go. I wish I was a better cameraman, guys. I apologize. I really almost need one of those camera mats on top of my head so you can see what I'm doing. Go check the temperature right quick. We're at 1837. Still got a couple minutes to go. Sorry about that. Had a phone call. You get over 50, you get 10 phone calls a day about your damn Medicare Plan C. They're annoying as hell. It don't matter how rude you are to them, they just keep calling back. Go check that temperature again right quick. Almost there. Make a couple of passes. All right, time to set the clock. Twenty more minutes. see here, where it's dark right there, we haven't hit that yet. The grind's got to climb all the way up. It really made me happy the timing worked out where this grind was done at the same time that heat treat is. This last quarter-inch is always the longest part. The reason why it takes the longest is because that belt is contacting the entire blade. So as it climbs up, you've got more and more contact area, so it slows down the progression by, shit, I bet it's 10 times. And that's why most people stop at a saber grind. But I don't do a saber grind unless somebody asks for it. It's great for its purposes. But there's no doubt it's an inferior cutting geometry. In all honesty, so's a hologrind. Hologrinds look good. When they get thick up at the spine, they don't want to pass through material as well. That's why I prefer a full flat grind. Kathleen, if you're still here, I hope you're doing better, ma'am. this reaches the top of that flap, I should be at about 10 thousandths at the edge. By the time Kyle sharpens it, should put it at about 15. My neck is tired just from looking down. This belt is wore ass out. I just can't afford to run through them, so I'm going to have to keep using it. And this is probably 64.5 HRC through wear, so it takes a while to grind. That's another cost and time-saving set that production uses. They don't run it that high because they don't want to stand here for 3 hours. That grind I did on half-inches heating over there, I spent about 3.5 hours grinding that knife. That was just grinding the bevel. That's why I say there's no money in knife making. get my value out of the fact that I'm not at home laid in the bed waiting to die. But I ain't gonna lie, there's days I wish I was doing something else. Mostly just of how monotonous it is, just the time. Just repetitive motion. That's just part of it. We got 6 minutes before we go back to the heat treat oven. Time it might work out. We're getting close. I only want it to work out because when I'm done with that heat treat, I'm going my ass home. Getting really close. Well, she ain't gonna get finished today. Don't like much, but time to get back to heat treating. Whew, man, I'm sore all over. What are you guys talking about? Yeah, it's cold in there, Ron. I'll take it out of the freezer tomorrow, temper it, put some toughness back in it. Happy as I am to be here, I'll be even happier to be going home. For those of you who know me, know my situation, I am pretty proud that I've worked as much as I have in the past 7 days. Nice and pretty. Gotta wait on that last one to get back to 1850. It'll only take a couple minutes. It's at 1830 right now. I'm gonna make a couple more passes on the grinder while I'm waiting on it. I'll be damned. Timing turned out perfect. Got a couple minutes more of this getting back to temperature. What are y'all talking about? Oh. Whew. Let me go turn the compressor off while I'm thinking about it. Where are we at? Perfect. Perfect timing again. Hell, I ain't just tired. I'm sore. I'm hurting all over, man. That's all right. It's the last step. Be right back. All right, guys. I'm done. Nothing but grinding for the next 2 weeks. I'm going home. Y'all have a good one.